okay. So, just leaving my uncle's place. So that's it. I was having like a thought process, right? I was thinking of how someone can have big goals and basically work towards achieving those big goals. And ironically, magically, right, Danko's letter came in, and then it's talking about how you can achieve very big goals. So like, let me give it like his breakdown, right? I'm obviously I'm intertwining stuff because I didn't read the full thing. I was in the middle of people, but trying to like get a decent understanding of what he meant. But the overarching idea was that if you have a big goal, you should aim towards building an alter ego that would help you. That would basically that will help you when it comes to achieving that goal. I have 40. I have what? Yes. So the first step, right, is you need a vision. You see, and I think this vision is where a lot of people are lost, right? Because I mean, without a vision, oh my days, I completely forgot to take a different road. Oh god damn it. So yeah, so without a vision, you are lost. You are definitely lost. And your first step to having a vision is, I think the different methods of finding your vision, right? The different methods of finding your vision. One thing for sure is that the you're better off moving towards something, right, that you're not sure of, than sitting down there and trying to figure it out. I've noticed that thing in every area of life. You're better off failing and failing and failing, right? At failing at something until you get the point of it where you're good at it, than sitting down, studying, trying to wait for some grandiose inspiration to hit you. So, although Danko I think, has given like different approaches towards finding your vision, right? One approach he has given is using what is called an anti-vision. So, if you look at every area of your life, ask yourself, how do I not want to live this area of my life? So, for example, in relationship, right? If you know that you don't want to get divorced, it means that if you don't want to end up with a particular kind of partner, it means that you want a particular kind of partner. So this is that the mind naturally is get, or rather the mind of most people, and the mind basically is geared towards having an idea of what the person does not want, right? More than what the person wants. So what that means is, if you already know what you don't want, if you flip the script in the opposite direction, you then begin to get, this road is so bad, you then begin to get an idea of what you want. So although in this particular letter he's talking about how you should take a journal, answer things like, I don't know, how do you want to be perceived, how do you want to speak, how do you want people to perceive you, and why? Because that is very important. Because a lot of people can answer a lot of things about themselves, but they can never answer why they want that thing in the first place. A lot of people might say, I want to have 100 million, I want to have $1 million per year business, but why do you want $1 million per year business? So I feel like this is why I'll give it to Danko, because he has a fairly good understanding of what he's talking about, a very good understanding. And I like the way he goes deep into his conversations, right? And the fact that we have a lot in common: spirituality, philosophy. This one is very interesting. So have a vision first. That's the first step and the most important step, because without it, and it's from that vision that you begin to frame most of your decisions, and that is important, right? Now, it's because when you have a vision, some people can call it goal or something. When you have a vision, your next action becomes obvious. But hold on, wait a minute. Sometimes your vision is too far ahead. You don't know what to do. So your next step is to do what? Is to get clarity on what to do next. So you have a vision. With your vision, what you need next is clarity on the next step. So how do you get clarity? You break your vision or your dream. Police. You break your vision down to milestones and look for the first milestone that you can actually accomplish. So for example, if you're trying to earn $1 million per year from an online business, why don't you break it down to attempt to earn $1 first? agree. For mama, I agree. If you did, yeah, yeah. You very speaking of, well, I don't change my topic. Nigerian police is not as bad as they portray it. They have some practices that people don't like, yes, but I feel like at the same time, if you show up with the right energy, yeah, you won't be so bothered about what they do, but you'll be bothered to some extent. So there's this crazy traffic that's coming up ahead, and it's very, very okay. I think I've been rerouted, and I'm getting about 30 something minutes. So now your next step after having your vision is what is clarity, where you are, when you get clear. So for you to get clarity, because your vision is so broad, right? For you to get clarity, you need to break it down to milestones. And for how you can accomplish those milestones over and over again. So if you're trying to get $1 million in your business, right? Your first milestone is how do you get a single dollar in the first place? Because which is actually like some it's actually achievable. And he says, okay, fine. An action, a list of action steps could be build an audience, right? When you build that audience, the next step that makes sense is you build the audience and try to sell something to them, anything, an ebook, a course, just sell something, right? And I still feel like yes, it's better you fail at creating offers. It's better you fail at it than for you to wait for the perfect time to create the perfect offer, which I think I'm considering starting in my third. I think after the first quarter. Maybe after the first quarter, I can start. So yeah, there are different levels to it. Until this month, to get my content output. Keyword there is not audience yet, because I feel like when you take care of the inputs, when you take care of your inputs. So my content input is what I'm talking about. If you take care of the inputs, the output should be possible, should be viable. So that's my point. So I'm trying to focus more on the ways I can raise the possibility of me building a large audience. So I'm going after a large audience, not a niche audience. So now you build your audience, you try to sell something to them. It's when you sell something to them that you can begin to know, it's easier for you to know what works or what will work and what is not going to work. So you've gotten clarity, and the next step, see, these 3 steps are super important. The next step literally is, who do you need to become? And this is where the alter ego comes in, because the alter ego, right, is something that you're supposed to use to guide yourself towards the goal. Because to be very, very honest, a lot of people have a lot of self-doubts, and most of their self-doubts comes due to their identity, and their identity is shaped by their stories, the stories they have in their head, the narratives they tell themselves. So one key thing here is to craft an identity. Now, for some people, crafting an identity that they wear every day is a problem, right? Because they're going to have to deal with a lot of people who they already have memories with, and these memories have shaped their current identity. So you know how you behave to your brother is different from or your parents is different from how you behave to your teachers, and how you behave to your teachers must be different from how you interact with maybe a stranger. And that doesn't mean that we are inauthentic, but it just means that when we are certain occasions, we wear a different mask, and that is the meaning, and that is life. It's nature, right? You adapt to the situation. So we are sort of multifaceted, and it should not be seen as a bug. It should be seen as a feature, right? Where you wear the current identity to handle the current situation. So, oh, okay, that makes sense. This is where we got the feel from. Ah. Interesting. Okay, I just got carried away by something that I was around this place a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just seeing it because I'm walking through a different lane or something. So this alter ego, you have to build what's called an alter ego. So an alter ego is a curated identity, right, of what you are trying. Wow, interesting. It's a curated identity of what you are trying to achieve. So for example, is when you first of all start by gathering a list of people, archetypes, characters who have already done what you're trying to achieve, right? And mind you, this is very important, because if you're trying to, if you're the kind of person who wants to design his life, right, this is a very important point, because yeah, it's going to help you whether you believe in lifestyle design or whether you believe in setting goals, right? It's going to help you drastically. So your first step is to get a list of people who already have achieved the things you want to achieve, right? When you gather a list, you ask yourself, what traits do these people have, right, that can give me what it is that I am looking for? What traits do these people have? And begin to curate those traits together. Obviously, some traits, if you take some certain characters, there's some certain traits you don't want in them and some that you want. So take only the ones that you want, right? And slowly bring it together. The last step is to give your alter ego a name, right? Name that alter ego. For Kobe Bryant, it was Black Mamba. For who else? For Beyonce, it was Sasha Fierce. Even to make this alter ego strong, it makes sense if you identify something physical that you attach to this alter ego. So, for example, Malcolm X used to wear non-prescriptive glasses because he wanted, when he wears them, he has the identity of somebody who is intellectual. So when he speaks because of that state he is currently in, and that is the powerful stuff, right? Being able to control the states you are currently at is a very powerful thing. It's as good as altering your consciousness. And I like the way Danko talks about what would Jesus Christ do, right? Because it refers to the concept of Jesus consciousness, and Jesus consciousness means that you can begin to adopt any state you want at that level of consciousness, right? You can begin to command things at will, the way you lift yourself, the way you carry yourself. So with this alter ego, you can basically do anything you want to do, and I feel like it's a very nice approach into achieving anything you want to achieve, right? If you think about it. So I think there's a book on alter ego by Todd Herdman. That guy is pretty good because he's the one that made Kobe Bryant create the alter ego Black Mamba, and that's exactly what happens when you go to do anything. So for the coaching clients, right, I'm considering, or rather I want to use the approach of alter egos, right? Until they can integrate their alter ego into their current ego, it would make sense, it will work in their benefit that they can at will command that alter ego, right? And if they have anything physical, so for example, somebody who is shy, if we sit down together and then we build an alter ego for this person, it would then make sense that this person can destroy that shyness and walk up to any woman in his mind, thinking that if this person gets rejected, it is the alter ego that was rejected, not him, right? Not him. So what that means is he will be able to approach the lady he wants to approach with much more comfort. Knowing fully well that, first of all, this person has a couple of traits that he wants, and the second idea is that if he gets rejected, if the fan goes low to hit the proverbial shit, he's still protected. So that's the entire point. I think obviously it goes deeper than that. If you've probably read Danko's letters, you should know that guy is I would say he's a modern day philosopher. So yes, so if you stay to this long, I'm pretty sure that you are somebody who takes yourself serious, and then we should consider building a group of like-minded people who also take themselves to be very, 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 very serious. So yes, thank you very much. This was a very nice episode of Ride With Me. So let me just know if you're considering more, if you like this episode, right? If you're considering more, and we'll get to talk later. So talk to you soon, and bye for now.